Great day, second grade students and families. It's Mr. Sargent here with your weekly newsletter video for November 14th through the 18th. Now, I hope everybody has enjoyed their Veterans Day long weekend and that you remember why we are having this long weekend to honor those men and women and animals that have served in our military. And if there's any military members out there, we salute you. Thank you for all that you have done for our countries and for our freedom. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some math and some ways that I can help you out with your math next week. We're going to talk about some ELA. We're going to even have another read along, and we're going to be talking a little bit about how to write a sentence. And in social studies, we're going to be starting a new unit this week. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, there's not a lot of school news this week, so we're going to skip ahead to our second grade news. Now, first of all, I would like to thank every person out there that has donated for our second grade canned food drive. We will continue this canned food drive up until Thanksgiving break, so feel free to bring all of your canned goods or any canned goods or just one canned good to add to our collection so that we can donate to those less fortunate. Now, as always, we do assign homework on Mondays and collect it on Fridays. So if you're not going to be here, make sure we get that in our homework folder. And like I said, it should be prepared and ready every Monday for you to take home. Now, just as a quick reminder that our students do need to be in their homerooms by 8 o'clock or risk being marked down as tardy if they're not in the homerooms by 8 o'clock. Also, dismissal begins at 3 o'clock and ends right around 3:30, 3:45. We want to make sure that everybody's picked up on time or they will be rolled over to after school. So we want to make sure that as a second grade team and second grade family, those going to after school can go to after school, but those going on van riders can get on their vans, and those that are car riders are getting home safely. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every parent out there that gets our students here on time as well as picks them up. We couldn't do it without you. Now on to what we're doing this week in math. Now this week in math, we're going to continue looking at place value, but we're actually going to be using place value to do something called comparing. Now, when we compare numbers, we see really which one's bigger than the other one. Now, how do we determine that? Well, you have to look at the place values. Take a look at these two numbers, okay? They have similar numbers in them, but if you look at the place values of them, you always start with the largest place value. Now with these numbers, well, the largest place value is the hundreds place, as you see right there. Now they both have the same hundreds value, so where do we go next? Very good, we go to the tens place value. Now you can tell right here that these tens are different. So which one's bigger? If you said the top number, you are correct. Now, how do we organize that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, math is pretty incredible because they give you symbols instead of having to write out the word. Now, if you look right here and right here, you will see two symbols that are very useful. One, we have the greater than. The other is the less than. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick here. So, let's put our original numbers back up. Okay, they're on both sides of me, aren't they? Okay, so both numbers are back up, and we've already determined that this number is bigger. So we need to use the greater than symbol. So I'm going to put it right here. Now, if you notice, it looks like an unfinished triangle, right? I like to look at it as an arrow, okay? Here we have the point of the arrow pointing that way. The arrow is always going to point to the smaller number. So if we put the arrow here, there it is, you will see it's pointing to the smaller number, and that way the open end is facing the larger number. Now there's a number of ways to do this. We've talked about different ways that we can solve a math problem and different strategies we can use, but this is just a really cool way to compare numbers. Now what you're going to do this week is use expanded form to do these comparisons. So we're going to take our expanded form like this right here and this right here. Then you're going to make the number form, which is going to look like this, And then you're gonna put your comparing symbol, which looks like this. And you're gonna do that this week. We're gonna practice this week. If you need any help, we're here to help you. In social studies, like I said before, we are starting a brand new unit on government. We're going to be studying the formation of the United States government, the different governments around the world, why we chose the government we did, the jobs in the government, the roles in the government, what the government does for us, and what we can do for the government. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited, though I am sad that we won't be doing science until, well, probably later on. But one thing I am excited about is that we get to learn more about our community, our culture, and our country. So, be prepared to discuss, be prepared to learn, be prepared to read about the government. Now it is time for our week in ELA. Now this week we will be working with week 10 spelling words. Now this week's words follow the EA pattern, which is going to give the words a long E sound. So you're actually going to hear the letter E pronounced in the word. All right, so let's see if you can pick out the long E sounds in our list here. So let's go ahead and put the list up. There it is. And let's begin reading together. Also, beat, seat, 3, small, mean, clean, peak, dream, beach, team, length, weight, height, meet, and distance. Okay, those are your words of the week. Now, can you find the long E sounds or the EA pattern? Well, let's take a look at the words again. I see it in beat. Do you hear the E there? Beat. There it is. I see it in mean, clean, peak, dream, beach, and team. But I also see it in meet for number 15. So those are your spelling words of the week. There are some great patterns there for you to identify. Now, along with this, Miss Daniels is going to be working with our reading comprehension skills, and she is going to give you another reading comprehension that, well, I'm going to read with you right now because, well, even though you're going to get this on Monday, you can always come back to this video and read it along with me. Plus, if we're walking into class already having some background knowledge of what we're going to learn, it makes a better connection with what we're going to read. And by the way, last week, I was so excited to be able to read with each and every one of you. It made my week. You guys are some incredible readers, and I cannot wait to see each and every one of you get better. So this week's story, I'm going to put it up now. There you go. It's called The Bear and the Two Travelers. So let's go ahead and read it together. Two boys were making their way through the forest. They were taking a shortcut to get to school. Out of nowhere, they spotted a bear that looked hungry as could be. The first boy immediately climbed a tree as high as he could. The second boy hid by laying flat on the ground, just out of sight. The bear was curious. He went over and smelled the second boy. The boy held his breath and played dead. The bear, sensing that the boy was dead, whispered something and then left. The boy had heard that bears will not touch a dead body. As soon as the bear was a safe distance away, the first boy came down from the tree. The first boy rushed over to the second boy and immediately asked him what the bear whispered. He gave me advice. What advice? What was the advice? The first boy asked. Never travel with someone who deserts you at the first sign of danger. What a good story, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as always, you're going to have some questions going along with the story. Now, I'm going to help you as best I can without giving you the answers. Now, the first question right here says list 3 nouns in this story. So the question I have for you is, what is a noun? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you look right here, a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. Now, A noun is something that can be described. It is something that is important to the story. It's something we can see, it's something we can hear, it's something we can smell. Ladies and gentlemen, when you reread through this story, see if you can identify what are some of the nouns, and then go ahead and list 3 right there. Next, for number 2, it says circle the verbs in this story. Well, just like the nouns, we have to identify what is a verb. Well, if you don't know what a verb is an action. It's something you can do, whether it's jump, whether it's run, whether it's laugh, whether it's sing, whether it's talk, whether it's eat. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, a verb is an action. Can you hold on to it? No, it's not a noun, but it does tell us what the noun is doing. So it's kind of important to be able to identify just what a verb is. So go back through the story and circle all of the action words in the story. Trust me, it's going to help you later on. Number 3, who are the characters in the story? That one's pretty easy. Number 4, what can we learn from this story? Interesting. What can we learn from what we read? Now, if you notice for number 4 and number 5, and I'm going to go ahead and read number 5, what can you do so you don't end up like the traveler on the ground? If you notice, there's more space there, isn't there? Well, I'm going to let you know a little secret. When you see multiple lines like that, then your teacher is looking for a sentence. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this helps. I cannot wait to see all of the hard work you're doing this week. I have been so impressed and proud with each and every one of you. And parents out there, thank you so much for the support. You are all doing such an incredible job supporting the teachers here as well as the scholars every day they enter the room. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, I hope you have an incredible weekend, and I cannot wait to see each and every one of you on Monday.